We are on a lot of Facebook pages and we see comments and sometimes they just don't make sense. A situation comes up and God forbid you have fired your firearm. What are you going to do? That means you can get yourself in a lot of legal trouble. It will cost you a lot of money. So today's video, we're going to talk about a controversial topic, but it's a topic that people talk about a lot. They ask us a lot of questions about it. It's going to be traveling with firearms on your RV. You're going to want to watch this video because there's some really important information we're going to present to you. So just a little bit of background, guys. If you're new to the channel, I've been a law enforcement officer now for 23 years. And by that, no means does that make me an expert, but it does give me a little bit of experience. And I do travel with a firearm and I carry a firearm every single day for the past 23 years. So some of the information I'll give you here is good information, especially if you're new to firearms or traveling with a firearm. Now let's get into the first tip. Even if you don't travel with a firearm, this is really important. When you're traveling, we see this a lot. As police officers, just in general, I observe this a lot. I always tell MJ, be aware of your surroundings, right? What do we mean by that? Just know where you are. Watch the people that are around you. Don't have your head in your phone when you're out in public, because being aware of your surroundings may give you that little extra time that you need, potentially not to become a victim of crime or get yourself out of a situation that you don't want to be in. All right, the second tip that you want to know, if you're carrying a firearm, you have to be aware of the laws of whatever state or country you're traveling in. For example, if you have a concealed carry permit from the state of Florida that is not recognized in several states, many of them on the East Coast, including New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, what does that mean to you? That means you can get yourself in a lot of legal trouble if you're not supposed to be carrying a firearm in that state. And some may say that they don't care, and that's fine, but just be aware that you could face some criminal liability that will cost you a lot of money and a lot of time. So a good place, a good resource to find out what state reciprocate your concealed carry permits or where you can carry legally. NRA is a really good site, and if you go on the NRA website, you can see what states allow people to open carry, concealed carry, and what carry permits are reciprocated from state to state. All right, the next tip, and this is really important, and the reason why I say this is because we are on a lot of Facebook pages and different RV pages and forums, and we see comments and sometimes they just don't make sense. If you're going to carry a firearm that, number one, you're comfortable with and that you're proficient with and that you can carry all the time on your body for long periods of time. Why do I say this? Because a firearm is no good to you if it's not on you. For example, if we're going down the road, we stop at a seedy truck stop to put in, and this has happened a couple of times, right? We've been to truck stop and like, I don't like the way this place looks, or this gas station. I get out, I go put fuel. My firearm is sitting in the bedroom or underneath the captain's chair in the RV, and all of a sudden I'm in an altercation and I have nothing on me. So what did that firearm do? It did nothing. It's really important to be able to carry it comfortably and on you at all times. That is number one importance. So if you're going to carry a firearm, one that you're proficient with, one that you're comfortable with, and one that you can carry on your body at all times. All right, the next tip, if you're going to carry a firearm, you should train with it a lot. It should be like part of your body, like second nature. Why do I say this? Some people, not a lot, but some people, they carry a firearm, they've never shot it, they've never drawn it out, they've never drawn it under stress, they don't know how to load magazines, they don't know how to work if there's a malfunction. It's really important, guys. This is a tool. It's no different than when you get into a car, right? When you first learn to start driving, in order to start driving well, you have to drive all the time. In order to become proficient with a firearm, you have to use it pretty regularly. So that doesn't mean going to the range. That means dry firing, practicing drawing, taking some classes that put you under stress, being in the mental mindset. All these things will help you become better and maybe save your life if you ever have to use that firearm. The next thing, guys, and I will really encourage this, is that if you're going to carry a firearm that you have sufficient ammunition and carry extra ammunition. This is an extra magazine. Why do I say this? Well, most malfunctions on firearms, especially semi-automatic firearms, are caused by magazine problems, right? So you may have a 17-round magazine in your firearm and all of a sudden it malfunctions and now it doesn't work because the magazine's not feeding correctly. But if you have an extra magazine, that could potentially save your life. The next thing is you'll never go wrong with having extra ammunition. I've never talked to anybody, and please put in the comments below if you know anybody that that's ever got into a firefight, a shooting, that said, I wish I had less ammunition when I got into that firefight. Like, I wish I only had 2 rounds instead of 25, right? I've never met anybody like that, but if you have, put in the comments below. But yes, please try to carry some extra ammunition if that's possible. So the next tip is you want to have a way to secure your firearm if it's not going to be on your body, especially if there's children around. But either way, you should try to secure. What do we mean by this? Either a gun locker in your RV. We personally have a gun locker in our Ram, so if there's somewhere and I can't carry a firearm, which actually happened to us a couple of times. Some places don't allow you to carry a firearm. You want to make sure you secure it in somewhere that is secure. If you can't get a locker, a simple gun lock, and they come, every new firearm you buy will have a gun lock, and it's just a cord that you kind of stick through the firearm, disables it. Or take it apart, right, and spread the pieces out that it's not functional, but you're going to want to secure it somehow. I kind of touched on this a little bit earlier about the mental preparation. You do want to have a plan if you become involved in a situation where you have to use your firearm or you draw your firearm. What are you going to do afterwards? Call 911. Are you going to talk to the police? Are you not going to talk to the police? Do you have an attorney to call? Do you have a plan if you have to go to the hospital, if somehow you get injured in that altercation? For example, if you are camping anywhere and for some reason a situation comes up and you have drawn your firearm and you have pointed at something, God forbid you have fired your firearm, what are you going to do? What is your partner going to do? What is the plan? You need to execute those plans in your head before, right? Because it's muscle memory. When that situation happens, when you're under a lot of stress, you become your blinder, right? You have to be able to step back, think. If you trained it in your head before, you're going to be more likely to make better decisions if you are ever put in that situation. Following up on what I just said, you want to have, it's suggested that you have some kind of liability insurance. USCCA does carry liability insurance for those who carry firearms. Why do we say this? If you draw your firearm, if you fire your firearm, whether you're right or wrong, there is going to be a cost associated with that. There's going to be legal costs for your freedom. There may be civil costs. Whether you're right or wrong, again, if you have boatloads of money to pay for an attorney and for the long legal process, possibly for your freedom, you don't need insurance. But you're going to want to have some kind of legal counsel, and you're going to want to have that in place prior to ever getting into that situation. You call a phone number, get an attorney on the phone, and start rolling. That's why you want to have that type of insurance. A couple more important things before I wrap up this video. Before we go any further, this is a firearm. It is a cleared out firearm. It's empty, okay? Just so you know, safety always first. You want to carry your firearm in an appropriate holster. There's different types of holsters out there. You don't want to throw this in your pocket. You don't want to throw it down your pants without it being an appropriate holster. Holster is so important, as well as what you wear. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. But here are just a few examples. I really like Kydex holsters. There's all different types. This is an in the pant appendix Kydex holster. Why do I like this? Because it's not collapsible. It keeps its shape. I'm just going to put the slide forward, and when you put it in, it fits the gun like a glove. And this is really important. You see that? That's the trigger right there. You want to make sure that that's covered so you don't send the round down your pants. Another type of holster, this is like an ankle holster. I don't like holsters like this. And why do I say this? The Kydex holster, if I draw my weapon and my firearm's displayed, it's used, it's not used, I could always reholster it very easy. See, it doesn't collapse. If I have a holster like this, when I put it in, right, I draw it out. For me to get it back in, I now have to kind of play around. You see what I'm talking about? It kind of collapses. I don't like this. Ankle holsters are great for like a secondary, if you're carrying a secondary weapon, but I don't like types of holsters like this. One more I just want to show you. If you choose to carry outside your waistband, I would suggest having some kind of security, some kind of retention on your holster, which means if I decide I want to have this exposed, and I don't suggest doing that, somebody can't come and just grab your gun. Like that NSA one you saw, I was able to pull it out. This actually has a mechanism that you need to defeat before you pull your firearm out. But again, Kydex holster, really good choice. What almost all law enforcement, military is using right now are Kydex style holsters. And then the final thing, I said I was going to touch on it. I would suggest that when you carry a firearm, that you carry conceal. Now this is completely up to you. If you want to carry open carry, that's up to you. But I think that's a really bad idea because you just made yourself a target, right? If a bad guy's coming around, he sees the person with the firearm, that's the first person they want to take out. So right now, I'm carrying concealed, right? Conceal means that you are not showing it, you don't want to see it. I'm just going to kind of turn around. Put in the comments below if you know where I'm carrying my firearm, but I am carrying a firearm and an extra magazine. And I don't know, MJ, can you see it?
No, I mean, I know where it is because I know where you carry it, but no, you can't.
But if I was walking down the street, this is exactly, I don't want anybody to know who I am or what I'm carrying, right? I want that element of surprise. But clothing is really important, what you wear. Couple of tips, your belt is very important. They make specific gun belt for concealed carrying. They're very stiff. So when you go to draw your firearm, you have a good base, a good platform where your holster is at, so you don't want anything kind of flimsy. Another suggestion is patterned shirts. Pattern clothes hides things much better, right? If you're going to be wearing like the muscle shirt, you're probably going to show some printing. And what is printing? I'm going to give it away. Printing is when you start seeing things, right? Printing. But if something is patterned and loose, you can't really see it. Would highly suggest that, but again, do what you're most comfortable with. Guys, this was just a really short video on a topic that could go on for hours, but we know that a lot of RVers carry firearms, and kudos to you if you do. In the comments below, let us know, do you carry a firearm? Did any of the information I presented to you, was it new for you? Did you know this? Is there anything that you do that you want to share with our followers? Because we're all here to share information. Also, do you like these types of videos? We're trying something new. Put it in the comments below. And for myself and MJ, it's a journey of a lifetime, and we'll see you on the road.